Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred on this date in years past, both recognized by other historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application, Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and today I'm joined by...
Proto-Blob.
Yes, the good job Blob, Headmaster Blob, Professor Blob. You know, all the It was just a matter of time before you started getting many nicknames. You know, that's kind of our thing out here in the Omni Coalition. You know, people get many different nicknames. So, you know, it seems to be a trend. Anyway, today is Moon's Day, also known as Monday, January 16th, 2023. So, if you want, can you start us off in the year 27 BC, Mr. Blob?
Yes, in 27 BC, the title Augustus is bestowed upon Gaius Julius Caesar Octavian by the Roman Senate.
Ooh.
So he's known as Augustus Caesar.
Yes.
Also known as Gaius Octavius.
Yep.
In the year 550, in the Gothic War, the Ostrogoths under King Totila could conquer Rome after a long siege by bribing the Isaurian garrison.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard about that. You know, that was the people who were like supposed to defend the city, and you know, money talks. So you know, people are only allegiant to the almighty greenback. So.
Yes, in the year 1219, floods in northern Netherlands after a storm. Thousands of people were killed.
Wow.
And in the year 1412, the Medici family is appointed official banker of the papacy.
Huh. Well,
which made them the most powerful family in the entire world at the time.
Yes. And then 400 years later, it became the Rothschilds. So. In 1493, Christopher Columbus left the New World and set sail for Spain. So that's after he discovered it. And he was going back to be like, oh, hey, look what I found. So, 1501, Voyage of Discovery as well. Portuguese navigator Pedro Ivares Cabral and 6 ships began their return voyage to Lisbon. Huh, that's interesting. So, 8 years on the exact same date, 2 different explorers are returning home. Huh. Lisbon is in Portugal, right?
Yes, but Mr. Cabral actually discovered Brazil.
Ah, okay. So, yep. Then,
he did that in 1500.
Okay. So this must be when he's coming back from discovering Brazil.
Yes.
And Lisbon is in Portugal, which is
the capital of Portugal.
Yeah, but Portugal is. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, that's right. It's connected to Spain. So both Christopher Columbus and Pedro Alvarez Cabral here were heading back in the same direction generally. So that's pretty interesting. 8 years, separated, but on the same exact date. That's wild. Before I move on up, though, we have a new addition for today, at least.
Thank you, the Golden Moon.
Thank you for joining us. 1547, Ivan IV the Terrible, at the age of 17, crowned himself the first Tsar of Moscow. Ooh.
Yeah, just crown yourself if nobody else does it.
Yep. I mean, that makes you wonder, when I was 17, how would you feel if I had crowned myself, emperor of something? That'd be...
Well, as I recall, I was crowning you more than anything.
Yeah, with a toilet brush or something. Anyway, Mr. Blob, let's go back to you, good sir.
All right. In 1556, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V abdicates his role as King of Spain and appoints his son Philip II of Spain.
Ah. All right, so this is when Thimblehead got his power. Well, his head looks like a thimble. It looks like a felt thimble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder what he's hiding under there. Is his head actually a thumb? Is he like one of those people from the first Spy Kids movies, the thumb bums or whatever, the thumb people?
In 1605, the first edition of El Ingenioso Hidalgo Don Quixote de la Mancha, the book one of the Don Quixote saga by Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra, is published in Madrid.
Dang. So it sounds to me like you already knew a little bit of thing about this book here.
Oh no, it's very famous. Don Quixote, very famous. You know.
Yeah, he is.
I'm feeling a little uneducated now.
There's also a famous song by Nick Kershaw with the same title, which is also great. Anyway, in 1765, Charles Messier catalogues the M41, a galactic cluster in Canis Major. That's the major dog.
Oh, let's take a look at that here.
Big dog, big wolf, something
I
like
see.
that.
Stars. 1793, French King Louis the 16th was sentenced to death by the National Convention during the French Revolution. Dang. And here's this guy again with his hair trying to escape. So, yeah, during the French Revolution, those French, they like to revolt. So.
Yeah, and he was executed 5 days later.
Oh, so yeah, I guess he served his sentence. 1832, Charles Darwin landed at Porto Preo in the Cape Verde Islands, the first landing of his HMS Beagle voyage. Oh, okay. So we've been talking about the Beagle off and on for this this entire past year, and I guess this is when the first landing. So like he had started his embark like a while ago, and then this is the first landing right here. So that's pretty cool. We also have another historic event here in 1897. John Dewey's essay, My Pedagogic Creed, appeared in School Journal. What is pedagogic? What does that mean? Hold on a second.
It means school education, but no children education.
Yeah, relating to teaching. So his teaching creed, I guess. He's a philosopher, a psychologist, and a writer. So.
Yeah, but it's not education in the sense of school, but in general, like also parenting and
Yeah.
everything that's to do with raising children.
Yeah. Like I went on to Google and I searched this. It says relating to teaching. So like it's, as you said, it's not just school, but it's your your overall education in life. Your book smarts, your street smarts, what your parents taught you, what you learned yourself.
Life's teachings.
Yes. So.
Yes.
And I believe we go back to you, Mr. Blob, in 1914.
Oh, I actually take 1909.
All right.
Antarctic, the Antarctic explorers Douglas Mawson, Edgeworth David, and Alistair Mackay reached the South Magnetic Pole as part of the Nimrod expedition.
I still can't get over the Nimrod expedition. Like Nimrod is it sounds, I don't know if it is, but it sounds like an insult, like oh you Nimrod, but like
yeah, well that's slang.
Yeah, but South Magnetic Pole, a lot of people don't realize there are actually 2 north and 2 south poles. We have geographic and we have magnetic. Geographic is obviously the top of the top, but that's not necessarily where the magnetics, that's causing the electromagnetic bubble around the Earth is coming out of, or going into from the south and north pole. It rotates around. So
yeah.
So yeah.
In 1914, writer Maxim Gorky returns to Russia.
Okay, I think I've heard that name.
Yeah, his full name is Alexei Maximovich Peshkov.
Okay.
He won. He was nominated 5 times for the Nobel Prize in Literature. He didn't win it. Well, that's strange. Anywho, in 1917, the Zimmermann telegram is sent from Germany to Mexico, stating in the event of the United States entering World War I on the Allied side, Mexico would be given Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. Intercepted by British intelligence and partially deciphered by the next day, its release in March shifts the United States public opinion in favor of war against Germany.
I do not know why that's not highlighted. That is a very big thing right there, the Zimmermann telegram. Oh my god. And yeah, as you said there, the British actually held that because see, here's the thing, like like, this is gonna sound stupid, but it's kind of smart at the same time. The Germans, to send the message to Mexico, actually utilized the British wires, like whatever their communication system, like in a way to hopes of going under the radar, but at great risk, obviously, of what inevitably happened of getting caught because they were using the enemy's own lines of communication to broadcast this message. But the British held onto it as a token, as a chip, to later on down the line, which they used. It says here, which it's released in March. January, February, March. So a couple months.
Yeah.
They held onto it for an opportune time, which obviously did occur, to finally did send to the U.S. And this is after no, like we were already 1917. Why? The Lusitania. When did the Lusitania sink? When did Lusitania? 1915. So we were already in So I guess this was just yet another push. So it's not a way to get us in the war, but it's a way to push us even more. So we were already because we already declared war. I believe after because that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
The Lusitania.
Yeah. Right.
So, which by the way I believe was a sister ship to the Titanic. So. Anyway, uno mas, good sir. Oh, by the way, before you continue, I see we've been joined by Doom Guy. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Yes.
In 1919, the 18th Amendment to the United States Constitution is ratified. It authorizes the prohibition of alcohol. It is ratified by a majority of United States states.
Yep.
States.
States. Yep. So the beginning of Prohibition. We were talking about Al Capone, I think yesterday, and this is basically what allowed him to get his notoriety. So.
You might want to read the first in 1920, I think.
1920, the first assembly of the League of Nations was held in Paris. Yep. The predecessor to what we now know as the United Nations.
Yeah.
I've spoken about this, often. We got an election of interest in 1921. Eleftherios Venizelos became Prime Minister of Greece for the 4th time. All right. And in British history, 1924, British government of Stanley Baldwin resigned. All right. So, by British government, we're talking about, his cabinet, so it's it'd be out here in the States, I believe, if I have my correlations correctly, it'd be how we call, the Clinton administration, the Bush administration, that's the equivalent of, the government.
Yeah.
So it's his administration. So.
But they get a vote of no confidence, I believe.
Yeah.
As we don't have that.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And then, if you don't mind, I see Australia here. I'm itching to do my accent, so I'm going to take 1931 here. Australian cricket batting prodigy Don Bradman scored 223 versus West Indies in 3rd Test in Brisbane. Most runs scored by a player in a Test match in Australia in one day. Wow.
Aussie accent and cricket.
And cricket, yes.
Yeah, as a reward for that, he got a cricket wicket.
Cricket wicket! Yep. All right, Mr. Blob, I believe it's your turn again.
All right, my next is in, let's see, 1938. The first jazz concert is held at Carnegie Hall, performed by Benny Goodman and his band. Oh, that's great.
The first jazz concert?
Benny.
Yes.
Huh.
Big jazz guy.
Well, that can't be the first jazz concert ever. That has to be the first one held at Carnegie Hall specifically. Okay, so...
Yes, that's what it says. The King of Swing.
Yep.
Anyway, in 1938 also, the LPGA golf tournament, the title holders championship women's golf in Augusta, CC. Patty Burke retains title by a massive 14 strokes ahead of Jane Cothran.
That's a lot.
That's huge.
Yeah, she ran away with that.
Wow. And by the way, for future reference, CC means country club. So there's GC and then there's CC, country club and golf course. So.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. 1941, and we spoke about this actually a month and change ago. But in 1941, U.S. Vice Admiral Bellinger warned of an assault on Pearl Harbor, nearly a whole year before it happened.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as awful as prejudices and things like that are, we gotta listen to our gut feeling, and we didn't, we wanted to be all, all lovey-dovey with Japan, and we basically opened the door for them to take advantage of our greatest strength, which is our greatest weakness, our tolerance. So.
Well, no, we weren't real great to Japan.
Yeah.
We cut off their oil supply or threatened to.
Well, no, we did. We embargoed them because they were extremely aggressive to everywhere around them.
Yeah.
They were waging war against everywhere. They were becoming a global threat, and we cut them off because a lot of those people, a lot of those nations out there, were either our allies or in good standings with the U.S. and they were under threat of being completely overtaken and owned and controlled by Japan. China being one of them.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
because we want to play politics, we basically allowed stuff like that to happen. If you want to solve a problem, put a lid on it immediately.
For the people in power, we all are pawns that can be sacrificed.
Yeah, well, good luck trying to control me. So. Anyway, 1944, General Eisenhower took command of Allied invasion force in London. So about half a year before the Normandy invasions, because that was 1944 as well.
Yeah.
I know that guy from baseball.
Yeah, that's right. He played baseball with
General MacArthur.
well, no, I thought it was it might have been MacArthur, but I thought it was Bradley too. Omar Bradley.
Okay, could be. It could be. It could.
Hold on
I'm
a
not
second.
sure.
Who did Dwight Eisenhower play baseball with? Eisenhower was the president of the Abilene High School Athletic Association in 1909, and he played center field in the baseball team with his brother Edgar. Oh, J. Edgar Hoover. No, not Hoover.
No.
I don't know where
No.
that name came from. At first base, President Eisenhower entered West Point after school and played junior varsity baseball with General Omar Bradley.
Okay, so it wasn't MacArthur. It was Bradley.
No. Yeah, no. MacArthur, I remember we went over this a while ago. I think Blob is the one who brought this up or something, a couple months ago. So.
Yeah, and the issue is he was not an amateur after that anymore, so it violated the cadet honor code, which meant that he had to sign a voucher claiming he had never played sports for money.
Huh.
So, it would have prevented him from entering the military if it came out that he did.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yes.
One little hiccup with sports and we would have lost Ike. Oh my God. That's why I keep saying every little thing, no matter how great or insignificant it may seem, everything is equally important. Everything in life. So.
Yeah.
1905, though, Adolf Hitler moved into the Führer bunker, his underground bunker in Berlin. So that's going to be his last place of residence.
Yeah.
So, actually, supposedly, I believe he fled to Argentina, but.
That's the belief, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was discovered, because the Russians obviously had, Hitler's skeleton and stuff, because after he offed himself, they went and burned his body and such. But they discovered that the skull was not only Hitler's; it wasn't even male. Since then they've done DNA testing and such, and it was the skull of a female. So the body of Hitler, as far as what society has been told, has never been found. So
Yeah, but my theory is that he died in 1938 and then was replaced.
that also is a good theory.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. So. But I believe it's your turn now, 1949.
Yeah, also that guy we just talked about looks a bit like Charlie Chaplin in the movie The Great Dictator. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right.
In 1949, Benjamin Britten's chamber opera The Rape of Lucretia closes at Ziegfeld Theater in New York City after 23 performances.
That's a harsh name. Damn.
Well, it's a historic,
Event?
yes.
Yeah. Dang. still though, like, and only 23 performances, so obviously it didn't really get a lot of fanfare.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a mythological thing essentially.
Yeah.
We will put a link to that in the underbar later.
Yep.
Anyway, in 1952, the United States Standard Board clears Stan Musial from the MLB to get an $85,000 salary.
All right.
And in 1954, Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein's musical South Pacific, starring Mary Martin and Ezio Pinza, closes at the Majestic Theater in New York City. After 1,928 performances, winning 10 Tony Awards and the Pulitzer Prize.
Wow. That's
Yes.
we went from 23 to 1928. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
And the Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah. 1956, Egyptian President Nasser pledged to reconquer Palestine.
Yeah, so there was a guy with that name playing a Total War game. And because the second to fourth letter in that name are offensive, those 3 letters were censored, which made the name much worse.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. I remember. Oh my God, I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh my God, dude. Holy.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is, there's like a Total War game, like like Rome Total War, whatever. I believe it's more recent, and he's playing online. But Nasser, ASS, was censored because S.
Oh.
Now, N blank 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 ER. That looks even worse. You
Yes.
know what I'm spelling?
Yeah.
So they're censoring a bad word and making a worse word because of the censoring.
Yeah. Okay.
I could have had a V8. Anyway, 1960, Detroit right wing Gordie Howe scored a goal and assist in his 888th career game. A 3-1 win at home over Chicago. Became NHL's all-time leading scorer with 947 points, passing Montreal's Maurice Richard. Dang, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
So. And NBA All-Star Game, 1962, 12th NBA All-Star Game at St. Louis Arena, St. Louis in Missouri. West beats East, 150 to 130. Most valuable player, Bob Pettit. St. Louis Hawks center, All-Star record, 27 rebounds. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Also, as a basketball enthusiast, it's called Bob Pettit.
Bob Pettit, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Which, by the way,
I got to see him play
before I forget, you
when he
missed
was
it.
in college.
You missed it yesterday. It would oh God, I died. So yesterday we were talking about who was it? I just had the name. Larry Bird.
Oh, okay.
Like Larry Bird popped up.
Yeah.
And I knew that name, back when I was younger, used to watch basketball all the time, and I knew Larry Bird stuff. And then for a second I thought he was on the Lakers.
Oh, no.
It said he was on something else, but
Celtics.
But see, look, I searched for was Larry Bird in the Lakers, and you're gonna laugh. No.
Yeah, they were rivals.
But
Huge rivals. Yeah.
But I never expected Google to come at me with that attitude. It's like, it feels like I'm talking to a person. Like, was Larry Bird in the Lakers? No, you idiot. He wasn't in the Lakers. What are you, some kind of dumb? Geez, Google, chill out.
No, that's Magic Johnson, Larry Bird duels, for the championship every year and what's going on. So yeah, they were brutal enemies.
Oh yeah, well, this was
that's funny.
It's just
funny.
Big fat no.
It's the perfect answer. What can I tell you?
Anyway, Mr. Blob, continue on. 1963.
In 1963, we have the 13th NBA All-Star Game, LA Memorial Sports Arena. East beats West with 115 to 108. Most valuable player, Bill Russell, Boston Celtics center.
There's another one you should get a big ass no on if you asked if he was a Laker.
You know what? Let's see here. Bill Russell. Let's see if Google has the same attitude.
Got to.
In the Lakers. No. Okay. Well, Google.
Same thing. Exact same thing.
Google's getting sassy up in here. Tell you what.
That was Bill Russell against Jerry West, Elgin Baylor.
Yeah.
So that was a huge duel too.
Now my Google search history is going to be confusing. It's like, what the hell is he doing?
This guy's an idiot.
I am.
And in 1963, also Nikita Khrushchev claims to have a 100 megaton nuclear bomb. That's the Soviet Union.
The Tsar Bomba, yes, they have it.
Most likely, that's the Tsar Bomba.
Yeah, no, when they detonated that, as I said, it was a 50 megaton, but it had the capacity to contain a yield of about 100, which they didn't do. They actually dumbed it down to 50 because they believed at 100 it would actually start eliminating the ozone layer. And like very much like the theory about, if you set off a nuclear chain reaction, then that can continue on and destroy the entire universe.
Yeah.
And if this doesn't explain the audacity of mankind, I don't know what ever will. We still tried it.
Yeah, I know. That's the amazing part.
Oh my God! Thank God we were wrong, but still, it's like, oh, let's see what happened. We could have ended everything.
Because the belief was that because it's a hydrogen bomb, it would burn up the hydrogen in the atmosphere and then eventually in the entire universe.
Yep. So.
But you have reactions like that in the sun already, so...
Yeah. Well, there's no hydrogen around the sun, it's empty space. So... At least we just destroyed our planet, helium. So whatever.
Yeah, helium, not hydrogen, yes. Anyway, we will bury you. In 1963, Tennessee Williams' Milk Train doesn't stop here anymore, premieres.
Huh.
So, where does it stop? Our viewers can probably find out.
I would probably say it stops at Wisconsin, because they need the milk to make cheese. So... Then we got an NFL Pro Bowl in 1966, the 16th NFL Pro Bowl held at the LA Memorial Coliseum. East beats West 36-7. MVPs Jim Brown, Cleveland Browns, running back. Dale Minyard of St. Louis Cardinals, linebacker. All right. And that makes me wonder, is the Pro Bowl always held at the LA Memorial Coliseum?
I think it's in Hawaii now, but I think it was at one time.
Because, if you're going to do East and West, then, you shouldn't host it in the West. You should host it in, the Midwest.
They went to
it usually depends.
And Texas didn't have an NFL team then.
Yeah.
So forth. Maybe they had Dallas by then.
I don't know.
Yeah, 66, I think they did.
And I see that Doom guy made a couple noises. We were talking about football, and he had to make his presence known.
I was saying... No. What I was saying is it depends. It depends on what the NFL's feeling because, the Pro Bowl doesn't even hold any value anymore. It's just a popularity contest now. Because all the bad players get put into the Pro Bowl now.
That's kind of redundant. Well, not redundant, but that's kind of counterintuitive.
You're supposed to put the top players that aren't going to the Super Bowl in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
exactly right.
But as of right now, we don't know who will go. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, going to move on to an Alice article here. 1966, Chicago Blackhawks right wing Bobby Hull scored four goals, his 17th career hat trick, in a 6-5 loss to the New York Rangers. He became the first player in team history to score 300 goals. All right.
Maybe you can take the first one of 1969 also.
All right, 1969. Jan Palash, a Czech student, self-immolated in protest after the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one in Europe.
Yeah, why is that not highlighted? So, those Russians always invading people. I guess that's why we call them Russians. They're always rushing in.
Rushby.
We're always rushing to the store.
Yeah.
To get more supplies.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Doom, since you're here, are you down to rattle off a couple articles?
Hang on, I got it. Yeah, sure.
So maybe the other one in 69?
Alright.
Yeah. Well,
well, that's big. Why is that not highlighted either? What the hell?
TDH needs to get their stuff together, or on this day, I mean.
Yeah. I was gonna say TDH,
Yeah, TDH.
bro. We have stuff together a lot better than these guys do.
We are TDH. I was like, oh wait, hang on, we are TDH. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's just like, wait a minute.
No, we're not TDH. We're on this day. They're TDH.
Wait.
How the turns have tabled.
Yes.
Anywho, in 1969, Soviet Soyuz 4 and Soyuz 5 perform first transfer of crew in space.
That is big. That is big.
Cool.
That. Yeah, I remember him doing that.
Yeah, like I don't know if they had airlocks back then or what, but like they had to, you know, EVA, extravehicular activity. They had to get outside and go to the other ship.
I think they went through a lock, if I'm not mistaken. At
Or
least
maybe
that's
they
what I'm
did.
remembering.
Maybe they
They
did.
didn't go outside. They hooked up and connected.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I remembered it wrong. So you're right. They hooked up and then did that. But that is still massive, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Oh, good old Omar.
yeah.
Anywho, in 1970, 4 months after leading a coup against monarchy, Muammar Gaddafi takes over role of Libya.
All right.
He looks like an even more miserable Ben Kingsley.
Oh, he was a miserable individual, yeah.
But he was trying to do good, as I
We kind of
mentioned.
screwed him around eventually, but yeah.
Because he was trying to get his country back onto a gold standard, not on the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar. Their entire economy was based off of ours, and that's.
Well, he did a lot of terrorist stuff too, but then he tried to,
Did he, or is that lies perpetuated to to make it more righteous to go after
you're
him?
going into political stuff now.
He did horrible things to girls in his palace.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to defend the guy, but like at the end of the day, he was trying to do something good for Libya, and by extension, the rest of Africa, because he had plans on, inspiring the rest of the African nations around him from doing the same thing, getting off of the U.S. dollar and getting back onto a gold standard to back their economy.
Inspire or rule?
Well, whatever the case, our economy should not dictate other nations. So.
Yeah.
Whatever. One more, Mr. Doom Guy.
In 1970, Kurt Flood files a civil lawsuit challenging baseball's reserve clause.
Do you have any idea what
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that gave them the right to become free agents.
Oh, okay.
That's huge. That's why they're so wealthy today.
Ah.
This was the turning point for free agency. That's huge.
And free agency being?
Players could, at the end of their contract, go from choose whatever team they wanted to go to the highest bidder or whatever team they wanted to.
Yeah.
They're totally free.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Mr. Blob.
All right. In 1971, Art Schenk skates a world record 1,500 meters in 1 minute for 58.7 seconds.
That's quick.
In 1974, the movie Jaws by Peter Benchley is published by Doubleday.
The book Jaws.
The novel, I mean. The novel that became the movie.
Dun 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 dun. Which Jaws literally invented the term blockbuster. Like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like the first, like the whole blockbuster season, everything around blockbuster, because it was so popular.
Yeah.
That it busted the block. The box office.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right. And in 1978, we have the American Music Awards, the 5th American Music Awards. Stevie Wonder, Fleetwood Mac, and Conway Twitty win.
Ah.
And unfortunately, the cute girl from Fleetwood Mac died last year.
That's unfortunate. Uno mas, right?
Oh, I thought I had my 3.
All right, 1979, BBC landmark nature series Life on Earth, presented by David Attenborough, was first shown on BBC One.
His voice is so distinct. If you ever heard, you know exactly who it is talking.
We also have another historic event here in 1979. Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi fled Iran for Egypt during the Iranian Revolution. Yep, and we've spoken about him. He's the guy who went all over the world and nobody wanted to house him.
Yeah.
And eventually, he ended up in France or somewhere.
He was here for a while. Where did he go? Darn it.
Actually, he died in. Where did he die? Well, doesn't tell me where he died. But like I think he did make it back to Iran. I don't know.
No,
So
definitely did
okay,
not.
all right. Anyway,
Yeah.
1980, Paul McCartney was arrested at Tokyo International Airport for possession of marijuana. He was sent to jail for 9 days before being deported. So, and if this is the day I'm thinking of, this time last year, and Alice will definitely remember this because she was here during this. We're going to be talking about Paul McCartney and then his wife about 7 years later for getting arrested somewhere else. I think in the Philippines this next time for drug possession, the exact same thing. So it's kind of weird. On the same exact calendar dates, it happened twice to this guy. Like, did you not learn? You know? So, but anyway, Blob, it's your Doom Guy, it's your turn. 1981.
Alrighty, in 1981, boxer Leon Spinks is mugged. His assailants even take his gold teeth.
Wow, that's ouch. They took his teeth out.
Oh man,
What the hell?
not the grill.
Man,
Not the grill. Come on, guys. Come on.
That's not cool, dude. Like,
He bet Muhammad Ali, but he did get beaten up by some battles.
yeah. I mean, who takes gold teeth out of people's mouths? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Well,
Who yanks the grills, bro?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know one German party that did that.
Yeah, that's a joke I was making.
Oh no, they really did that.
I know, that's the joke I was making. Like. Anyway, 1981.
Also in 1981, John Lennon's single "Woman" is posthumously released in the UK.
What's
Now,
funny?
to give some context, there's a meme out there where it's like it's the medic and the spy, or like who is it?
It's heavy.
Heavy.
It's Medic and Heavy
Medic and Heavy
from Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
For anybody
and,
who needs to
and
know.
they're like drinking coffee, and then they're just like women, ha ha ha. It's just some stupid meme. So that's why Doom Guy here was laughing, to give some context to the debauchery going behind the scenes. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've ruined it for me. They completely ruined the whole. They've ruined the word for me. Like, they're fine. Like, they're like. I'm not saying anything bad about women. Like, they're fine. It's just the meme ruined the word, not the people, but the word.
Yeah.
So yeah, for anyone in the comments that are female, I have nothing against you. So you know, I have nothing against you.
Way to segue out of that.
Anyway,
For the
82,
sake
good
of our
sir.
country. In 1982, Edmonton's rookie goaltender Grant Fuhr has his 23-game unbeaten streak with a 7-1 Oilers defeat in Toronto.
Yeah, his 23 game streak ended with a 7-1 loss. So.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's a whipping.
Yeah.
7-1. Yeah, that's a whipping.
Yep. Mr.
Of
Blunt?
Miracle Whip.
All right. In 1984, the 11th American Music Awards, Pat Benatar and Michael Jackson win.
All right.
I don't know that person, but I know Pat.
As I was saying, here we are.
But I know Pat Benatar because
She's a
now.
singer. Pat Benatar, yeah. She's a singer.
Yeah, I know her because tonight. I don't know this guy from Zombie. In 1984, Paul and Linda McCartney arrested in Barbados possession of cannabis.
Okay, so it was Barbados. Remember I was just talking about this?
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
So what was it?
You
Was
think-
it 7 years? Like, this is 81 and this is
4
84. So
years.
3 years. So,
3 years. No, four.
no, 81 to 84 is 3.
Yeah, it was 80 when he was arrested in Tokyo.
It's a good thing they didn't get busted in Russia, eh?
Oh, 80. Wait. Oh, you're right.
Oh.
So it was 4. Sorry, I read the wrong thing. You're right, Blob. I'm sorry.
All right.
Don't be sorry. Be better.
Good. In
be butter.
Okay, Kratos.
Alright. Anywho,
In 1988, Czech dissident Václav Havel is arrested in Prague for taking part in demonstrations against the communist government, and later he became president, I think, of Czech.
Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic?
Yeah, Czech Republic, 1993 to 2003.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Okay, your turn.
1988 as well. George Harrison's single "Got My Mind Set on You" topped the Billboard charts. #1 in the charts. That's
Got
cool.
my mind set on you.
And we got a Hall of Fame in 1991. The 6 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees: Laverne Baker, The Byrds, John Lee Hooker, The Impressions, Wilson Pickett, Jimmy Reed, Ike and Tina Turner, Howlin' Wolf, Dave Bartholomew, and Ralph Bass were put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So,
Howlin' Wolf, there's a great one.
that sounds good. Howlin' Wolf, you know?
Yeah, great blues guitars.
Yeah.
1992, Eric Clapton performed for an episode of MTV's Unplugged at Bray Film Studios in Windsor, England, recording won 6 Grammy Awards and became Clapton's best-selling album and the best-selling live album of all time. Wow. You know, Eric Clapton, that's a name I recognize, you know, but...
Another great blues guitarist, one of the best.
Beyond the actual name, I don't know anything about it. It's just like, it's in my mind, and like, as I've said before, if a name makes it to me, then that's something big. It's not because I'm a big person or anything. It's because I'm so culturally ignorant that, like, when I know a name, there's a reason. You know, like they've made it big.
He was the original guitarist in the Yardbirds, which had 3 of the all-time great guitarists ended up being there. Who just died? Jeff Beck. He played.
Jeff
for them.
Beck, yeah, that's right.
And Jimmy Page played for the Yardbirds.
Oh.
Man, it's unbelievable. 3 of the all-time greats came
It
at
was,
different times. One left, another one came in.
It was funny. The other day, I think it was Alice who was talking to us, like, you know, blah, 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 you know, this guitarist died. She's talking about Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, she didn't remember the name, so she said Glenn Beck.
Oh.
And then now now, like, you know, as I said, like, you know, like, me being me, like, you know, the name was familiar. It was just like Glenn Beck. So I looked up, I'm like, wait a minute, the news guy from the Blaze? No way, he didn't die. Like, he's not a guitarist. She said, oh, Jeff Beck. I'm like, you got to get your names right, Alice. You almost sent me into a freaking heart attack.
Yeah.
You know? No.
Anyways, he later played with the Cream, one of my favorite groups back then.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do the split here, and there's a reason I'll explain after the show. But we have a new plan going on here.
Go for it.
But